Hello world, my name is Santiago Garcia Arango. I am a lead DevOps engineer for EPAM Systems.
Hello, my name is Andreea Merariu and I'm from Bucharest, Romania. Currently, I'm based in London in the United Kingdom and I work as a software engineer at the Lego Group. I'm also an AWS community builder in the serverless category.
Hey everybody, I'm Paul Chin Jr. I'm from Virginia Beach, Virginia on the east coast of the United States. I've been a web developer for about 9 years now. I specialize in serverless applications and cloud native architectures. Man, I'm super excited and humbled to share my experiences on becoming and succeeding as a cloud developer with all of you today. I can't believe it's been 9 years already, and I've grown so much as a person and as a developer. I found that my knowledge has expanded from just building websites to the physical internals of CPU architecture to this new abstract math being used for machine learning. I encourage everybody to just use your curiosity to build a knowledge base over time and give yourself permission to experiment.
In today's world, two skills that make the difference and enable you to jump from a junior position to a more senior position are the following. The first one is the ability to learn by yourself. This means that when you get a project or when you get a ticket or even when you get a new challenge, you are able to learn the tools and technologies from scratch and implement them to solve the problem. This without anybody explicitly telling you what to do. The second skill that is highly valuable is the ability to understand a client's requirement, especially when the clients are non-technical, and convert them to actually technical requirements. This is the ability to, from an idea, be able to generate architectures and generate the software in the cloud to actually make that solution real. So if you keep working towards reinforcing and improving these two skills, you will definitely jump from a junior positions to more advanced positions.
So for me, I have started my career a bit over 3 years ago, but if we're speaking about my cloud development career, that's just a bit over 1 year old. When I started my first job, I joined as a junior developer and then I quickly worked my way up to mid-level engineer. And then when time came for me to pursue my cloud job, I managed to secure a mid-level position. What I did to grow in my career so far, so there are two streams of work that I've been doing, so to speak. So one is obviously the technical side of things. I took time to learn about whatever I was interested in, whether it was through blogs, videos, courses. I tried to better my technical skills, whether it was coding skills or understanding how things work, having a better overview of certain architectural pieces. So I tried to constantly keep on top of that and grow my skills. The other stream was the soft skills stream. And that's the path that I took was something that was fit for me. So if that doesn't sound like something you want to do or might want to try, that's obviously totally fine. But what I felt I was lacking when I started my career was the confidence to speak up. I'm naturally a shy person and I found it difficult to voice my opinions in a team environment, regardless of how friendly and supportive my teammates were, because they actually were. But I found it hard for myself. And I think some people can relate to that. Possibly some women, I felt sometimes that it was harder for me to speak up because I was the only woman in the team. Again, regardless of how supportive my colleagues were, because I was lucky enough to have supportive colleagues around me that never tried to treat me differently. But it's just something that I had in the back of my mind, especially in the beginning of my career. So for me, I knew that I had to learn to speak up. And when I say speak up, I wanted to be able to voice my opinions. I was in situations where I knew I wanted maybe to share something with the team, a thought, an opinion on something technical that we were discussing, but I couldn't find my voice. I wanted to grow this side of me. So I started small. I started to tell my opinions to one of my colleagues that I was working more closely with, and, just share that with that particular person. I also wanted to see what it's like to do a bit of public speaking, so I tried to do some career panels where I talked about my experience of coming into tech, my experience as a woman in tech, so I did a few different panels. And I found that I quite enjoyed them. And then when I matured a bit more and found my cloud passion and moved into the cloud development area, I started to do public speaking in terms of I applied to do some talks at some technical conferences. And I have to tell you why I found that nerve-wracking in the beginning. I feel like the more I did it, the easier it got. I enjoyed it a lot. And it helped me grow as a person and definitely grow my soft skills. And with time and with me trying different venues of growing my soft skills, I now find myself not having that much trouble sharing my thoughts in a team environment, or, having doubts of, oh, what is gonna happen if I speak up or if I try to say something and it's not the right thing. I definitely gained a lot more confidence when it comes to sharing my opinions, and I feel like that was a crucial part of my growth because it helped me, that along with the technical skills that I have talked about before, have helped me grow in my career, and I'm hoping that they continue to do so.
I have had different mentors during my career, and one of the best advices that I've actually taken to take my AWS journey to the next level is to join software communities. Software communities are a group of people around the world that get together to discuss about different topics. For example, I am part of three communities: AWS Community Builders, AWS Users Group Medellin, and Cloud Crafters. These communities, they are important because they give you some technical knowledge. Every time that you go to a webinar or to a meeting, you will learn some technical skill. But the most important value is actually the people that you get to know. You get to network with people that have really similar interests to you, people that have different goals but also similar motivations to keep growing. And these people will not only help you when you have some issues or things to solve, but they will also support you and keep you pushing forward for certifications and challenges. And to give you one example, after I joined these communities, I started doing AWS certifications. Right now I have 4 AWS certifications, and the communities were a really, really important thing to actually be able to get them. Now, if you ask me what is the best thing about the communities, I will always say the people and the support that you get by the people. And especially after pandemic, when the amount of events that you get to face to actually meet and know different people, going to these events will also make sure that you keep improving your soft skills, your communications skills, and get to know a lot of people that I'm pretty sure that you will find really good friends here.
In order to build my professional network in the cloud development industry, I have taken upon myself to try a few different things. One of them was I started to attend the local user groups where I was able to meet fellow professionals that were interested in the same area that I was. At the same time, I started to go to conferences. Whether for me it was to speak at a conference or just listening to the talks that were on the track, it was a great opportunity for me to meet like-minded professionals and build those connections. I also started to write blogs with the intent to give back to the community a little bit, share from my experience and my thoughts, and so I took that path as well. But I would have to say that while all of these worked really well for me, I feel like I have made the most connections ever since I became an AWS community builder. So for those of you that don't know, you can become an AWS community builder, and that's a program where you have certain benefits, but most importantly, you have this huge network of people that share the same passion as you, and you can discuss with them, meet with them, and just kind of exchange experiences and knowledge. And it's just a really nice way to build up your network.
I really can't say enough good things about volunteering and getting involved in your user groups and dev communities. Help organize meetups, give people a chance to come together to talk about new technologies and new tools and how they're going about doing work and what does the industry really feel like, where are we headed with each new development. You want to be able to have a place to get real, honest feedback on your work so that you can improve. When you're able to communicate your work to others and act on that feedback that you get, you're ready for professional work. That is the core loop of everything that you'll be doing day to day. And I'm lucky. I've found success in content creating, making videos and blogs, going to conferences and doing interviews and running podcasts and coming up with silly ideas and just putting them on YouTube, because it's that personal project and it's that act of creation that keeps me motivated and actually brings me a bit of joy. You don't have to make coding your whole personality. You don't have to have it as a hobby, but it helps to enjoy the work you do.
To keep up with the cloud and keep on learning, my main strategies are constantly reading about stuff, about releases, about new features, or obviously diving a bit more deeper into something that I'm already using or already know the basics about. And how I do that? First of all, I try to leverage my network on social media platforms like LinkedIn and X, where people might be posting resources, whether it's a recording of a talk, a blog post, a podcast. If you have people in your network that are in the serverless area, which is obviously what I'm interested in, then someone is always posting something new. And what I do is I either look at that resource then and there if I have the time, or I make sure to save it somewhere and come back later. But that makes it easy for me to know what's happening, what resources are out there. That doesn't mean that I don't go and look for other resources myself. It's just a way to make things easier to keep up. So I leverage that quite a bit. Another thing that I do is I am subscribed to some serverless newsletters like Off by None and Ready Set Cloud. And in these newsletters, there's always a weekly roundup of the most recent blog posts that have been written in the serverless world, any new features, any new links that you might be interested in. So again, I use those to make sure that I'm always up to date with what's happening in the serverless world.
The non-technical skills are also important to work on for a well-rounded career. This job requires constant learning. And that's one aspect I actually really enjoy. I know that over time I'm going to be working on different things and learning new stuff all the time. The flip side is that eventually it starts to feel very overwhelming. However, know that truly, eventually you'll have a really solid base of fundamentals, and that you'll start to be able to recognize patterns that repeat themselves over and over again in code, in organizations, and in the work that you do, so that eventually you'll have such a solid base that no matter what happens, there are certain things that are true, that are fundamental to the software development lifecycle and the way apps are written. And any new knowledge that you have adds to your options and adds some variety to the things that you already know. But it always starts with that solid base.